Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and I love to craft. Today we have a very exciting video. You are probably wondering why I have an envelope with my name on it, and that is because, drum roll please, we have a card collab with Jenny Lynn Handcrafted here on YouTube, and I will go ahead and tag her channel down below. Be sure to give her a follow and check out all of her amazing videos. We exchanged emails and we kind of brainstormed on the card that we wanted to do. It's going to be a spring inspired card, and I have to make a card based off of the one that she sent me and implement some sort of gem that she had or color combo, anything like that. So I'm very excited to see what exactly that she sent me. Surprises are few and far between whenever you get older, and so I wanted this to be a complete surprise. So let's go ahead and open it. It has taken everything in me not to open up this envelope because, oh my goodness. What? This is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, she even put something on the inside. Wow. Oh my goodness, look at those. I love cards that have texture, and you can see, let's do a little side view. So you could see that it has some raised dots on it. This is a cute little bunny tail. Oh my goodness. There is so much detail on this card, and she even did a little bunny cutout and did some shading around there. Wow. I love this card so much. Oh my goodness. Let's just take a moment and admire this one. She is so stinking talented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera. That way that I can go ahead and pick out some color combos and figure out exactly what I'm going to do, and I will be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and just set her card right there. That way that we can still admire how beautiful it looks, and we are going to do a card like hers. So I want it to be top folding long ways. Usually I do cards that fold up like this. And so this one we're going to do sideways. So that's definitely different for our channel. We are going to do 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this way is 5 1/2. So let's turn our paper this way. And we are going to do 4 1/4. So we will mark it right there, and we can go ahead and fold our card in half. And I also like to take the tool and just go over it a few times to make the card extra flat. And this is how it's going to open. And I am using 110-pound cardstock. It will be linked down in the description box below as well. Okay, so we can go ahead and set this to the side, and we are going to take our front panel and start building it up. We're going to start off by using the Honeybee die set, and this one, let's see if it has a name for it. It is Stitch Scallop Circles. We will be using, let's see, I think we're gonna go with this one. This looks like a good size for the front of the card. And since this is a spring card and I love pink, we will be going in with this lighter shade of pink. This paper pad is for Michaels. It is from the Recollections brand, and this is, let's see, the pink buttons. So this is such a pretty paper pad. If you don't already have it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, especially if you love pink. And I'm going to show you my machine here. So this is called a Sizzix Big Shot, and it has instructions on the cutting plate, and it has a wheel right here. Let's see if I can move it over just a little bit. Okay, so it has a wheel, and my cutting plates are definitely used. I use this thing all the time, so it was definitely worth the investment. But on 2 of the cutting plates, it does have instructions on how to use like an embossing folder or how to use your dies. So for this one, we're going to use the main cutting plate, the thin one, and also the 2 cutting plates. This is a 65-pound. I think it's great for card making. So now I'm going to put down a clear cutting plate, my cardstock, And then I'm going to put my die on top. And you want to make sure that whatever you're cutting is facing down. And then we'll put the clear cutting plate on top to make that sandwich. And then put it in here and turn the wheel and run it through. Okay, now you're going to take off the top cutting plate, and then you have your die cut here. So that is how it turned out. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this in our scrap bin because we have a lot of paper left over here. The next thing we're going to be using is the Honeybee Stamps Easter Bunnies Stamp and Die Set. I'm going to go ahead and pick out the color markers that we are going to be using today, and I will be right back. Okay, so I picked out some of my Ohuhu markers, and if you have not seen these yet, these are highly recommended by many crafters. They have a brush tip and a fine tip, so I'll show you. So we have that brush tip, and then we have a fine tip. I highly recommend these, so I picked out a few of the pastel colors that I have in my collection, and we will also be using the Misty. And this is great for placing your stamps. I did have a smaller stamping folder, but my mom let me use hers, and I am forever grateful because it makes stamping a lot easier. I have used the stamp and die set before, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull a few of the dies that I need. So we'll be using the bunny, and I think we should use maybe a little bit of grass too. And we're going to do Happy Easter on the card. So let's use that die as well. Now that we have the dies, let's go ahead and get the stamps out. And I have a piece of cardstock here, so I'm going to place it right there, and we're going to take the magnet to put that paper in place. Okay, so I'm just going to place the stamps down. And like I said, we've used these quite a few times. So these are definitely broken in. If they were new stamps, I would highly recommend just rubbing your finger over it just to kind of get those oils off from the factory. So we're going to close the folder, press down a little bit, and lift up. So now I'm going to take my Memento in Tuxedo Black, and let's see if I can slide this over a little bit. Now I'm going to take the ink pad and just tap over the stamps. That we are done with that, let's go ahead and close the folder and press down gently and lift it up, and that looks great. I actually don't even think I'm going to do a second coat. Let's just go ahead and go with this one. And this is how it's stamped out, so I'm going to wait for it to dry for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and color it. Okay, so while I was sitting here waiting for this to dry, I realized that I did the flowers and not the piece of grass. So I'm gonna go ahead and find the die for the flowers. So there's the die for the flowers. We can go ahead and put that other die back up so we don't lose it. Okay, so now that it is done drying, let's go ahead and color in the flowers. I do want to go in with a very light shade of pink. We'll go over the colors that I am using today. So this one is going to be R19. And sometimes I even like to do just a little squiggly line to make sure that I'm going to like the color. So we have R19 and R18. Let's see the difference. Okay, so this one is a little bit darker. So I'm going to go in with that one. And I'm using the brush tip, and I'm just going to kind of just down there. And we're going to make all of them R19. Okay, and then we are going to go in with G8, and we're going to use the brush tip again and just draw a little line, because these leaves on the flowers are super tiny and you don't need to press down too hard. So just a little tap on there. Perfect. And I'll draw a little squiggly line for that color. And that is what it looks like up close. We're not going to color Happy Easter. We are going to do the bunny. And let's try to find the lightest shade of gray because we're going to leave him white, but do just a little bit of shading. So this one right here is CG2. This one is NG03. That one's really dark, so we're not going to use that one. This one is WG3. That one's pretty dark too. So I think that we are just going to go in with this one. It's going to shade just a little bit. Okay, so this is all about trusting the process. So we are going to shade in the top of the ears a little bit. Just kind of outline it. That's just what I'm doing. I think that if I were to fill him in, he would look more like a rat. And so we're just going to kind of just shade around. It's your card, your idea, so you do what you think looks best. Let's go in with the R18 again and just do a little bit of shading in the ears. Okay, so that is all that we're going to do for the bunny. I know it looks kind of funny, but again, trust the process. That is what we are trying to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and set the markers to the side to run this through my Sizzix Big Shot. Before I do that, I wanted to show you all just a little trick if you don't know this already, but you can take some washi tape and just pull off a little piece. And let's see, let's take Happy Easter. And you can secure your dies down that way that they do not move around whenever you are die cutting. So for this one, let's do it about right there. And just put the tape on, and it's secured down so it doesn't move around. Let's do the flowers next. And then we can do the bunny. All right, so let's make sure that all of the parts are lined up. Put that one across, and I'm going to go ahead and run it through my Big Shot, and I'll be right back. Through, we can just flip it over and pop these out. Just like that, and then you can peel up the washi tape and my dies back in the packaging right away, just because they are so small and they are very easy to lose. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and start building up our card. So we know that we want this big circle on the front, and I think I'm going to justify it about right there. And we want to put Happy Easter on the front, just like that. And then we want our little bunny here to be about right there. And then maybe some flowers right beside her. Oh my goodness, that looks so stinking cute. And then let's move her card back. Okay, so I feel like we have implemented a good bit. So we have our circle. Now, whenever we discussed it, we did say just add one thing, but her card is just so beautiful. So I'm very inspired by it. I love the circle part. I love the bunny. I love her flowers. And I think I might have some little gems like that I can add. So I'm going to go find those. So I did find them. My mom actually let me borrow these two. She is a huge crafter, and she has such a huge collection that, I mean, I just go over there and it's like shopping. So I think that these are pretty close to what she has. And so let's use a couple of these. Maybe a big one. And then let's see if we can pull out a small one. Okay, let's do that one. Okay, they're all sticking to me. My goodness. So we have that one, and that one. And let's see. I'm going to get a closer look. See how it's like iridescent? I think that's just so neat. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start gluing everything down. If you have never used one of these before, it is a two-way glue pen, and the glue is blue and then it turns clear whenever it's dried. You have another one that has like a ballpoint tip. This one is more of an updated version, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But I want to go ahead and secure some things down. So let's start with the circle. And for this one, I think I actually want some dimension. So 1 second. So we are going to use some foam dots. I have not used these in forever, and I found them in my craft bin whenever I was doing my craft room tour. And I think they might need to be used because they're just kind of warped and they're getting kind of tough. And so I'm wondering, I know that craft supplies like don't expire, but I wonder if they're just getting to that point where they're just not that great to use anymore. So we're definitely going to be using those for the next few videos just to go ahead and get rid of them. Okay, so now I am just pulling off the backing. Just like that. And then I'm going to secure it down about right there. Okay, and then let's try out this two-way glue. So it's just like a marker, and you kind of mark it up like that. Don't use too much because then it will become soggy and it'll be hard to dry and it'll warp and not look very pretty. Okay, so these are reverse tweezers. They're perfect for placing things. And I'm actually going to hold it like that so it's easier. Let's put it about right there and then press it down gently. And I don't think I'm going to add any dimension to the bunny, so we can go ahead and flip him over. Add some glue. Okay, and then I think I want the bunny to stand up straight, or do I kind of want him tilted? Let's do it straight. About right there. Press the bunny down, and then we could do some dimension on the flowers. I think that'll look really pretty. Put the two glue dots down, peel off those backings again. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it is just spring outside. You can just hear it. You hear all the dogs barking, all the birds chirping. We do not have any animals, but it just sounds so nice outside. So after this, we're probably going to go outside with the kids. That way that we can get some outside time in before it starts storming. Okay, so now I want to, let's see. I do want to put down these dots, but I'm not exactly sure if I should use this or if it's going to be too much. We'll just try it. So we'll do little dot, more of a bigger dot. And I wish that I had my Temu order. I just placed another one because the wax tip on my little tool, it broke off. This is actually a pointy end. But this one, the wax tip broke off, and so I can't pick up, well, actually, I guess I can pick up some stuff with it, but it's just not as good as whenever it's a full tip on there. So I placed a Temu order. It should be here very soon. All right, so we have these 3 down. Wait for this to dry a little bit and then we'll attach it to our card. This is dry. Let's go ahead and attach it to our card. So whenever you are attaching it, make sure that your card is positioned to opening up correctly. So if this was the wrong way, we would have it on backwards, but let's put it like that. I have some foam tape from the Dollar Tree. You can get it from any sort of craft store or Amazon. And I'm going to take some scissors and just cut off about 3 strips. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over to put those 3 strips down. So I like to start in the middle, up top, and on the bottom. And then you just peel up the backing. The adhesive foam on, we're just going to stick it on top. Just like that. Here is our final look. I'm so glad that we did a collaboration together. It was so much fun just getting to know another crafter here on YouTube. Even if you aren't a creator, I definitely recommend just reaching out to someone, collaborating, bounce some ideas off of each other. It's so fun to get to know other people here on this platform. Link her channel down in the description box below. Again, it is Jenny Lynn Handcrafted, and her channel is so inspiring. So go ahead, click the link down below, subscribe to her, check out some of her videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!